Hello, my name is Judith McLaughlin with the Shamrock and Peach. I offer intimate catering events based in Atlanta, Georgia, and also tours of the Celtic lands of Scotland and Ireland. Today we are going to be making one of my favourite soups, which is celeriac and apple. So let's get cooking. The first ingredient that we're going to start with is an onion. I'm going to add that to the coconut oil that is just on a medium temperature. Then the next thing we're going to introduce the star of this soup, which is the celeriac, also called root of celery. It's kind of an ugly looking root vegetable. You will see it in the grocery aisle beside the parsnips and the turnips. So what we're going to do is, first of all, just cut off the top of it. It's a little bit tough for a vegetable peeler because what we want to do is get off this rough skin. So I'm just going to cut off this kind of tough root part. Then I'm going to take the knife and I'm just going to follow the natural curve of the root vegetable. This is actually a really nice one, so I don't need to go as deep as some of them. They're in season at the moment. They're in season in the winter and the spring and also early fall, and they have the flavour of celery, but it has such a nice sweet texture, and it obviously isn't as watery as what the celery that you would consider the green celery that you buy a lot in the grocery store. It's a little bit of a different variety from the green celery that you would use in the grocery store, but it's certainly all part of the same family. So that's it more or less off. I just want, if there's any kind of knobbly bits, I'm just going to finish and take all of that off so that it's just white. I just want to have it so that we only utilise the white part of the root of celery. Then I'm just going to take the knife and I'm just going to basically cut it in sections like this here. Okay. It's kind of, everything takes a little bit of elbow grease to get it cut. And it's kind of got it's got that lovely smell, lovely fragrance, sweet fragrance, and it kind of has the texture of kind of like turnip, I would say, turnip and a parsnip. So we're just going to take it and cut it in evenly in pieces like this here. It doesn't really matter how big or how small that you cut the pieces. The key is just that you keep everything evenly in the same pieces so that your soup is going to cook at the same time. So the quantity for this, I normally do 1 onion for every root of celery, and I do have a recipe for you. But like a lot of soups, it's not often an exact science. We can just kind of be able to just go with what is the right amount of vegetables to liquid and what texture and flavour that you like best. People like a thicker soup, some people like it thinner. So I'm going to stir the onion and the celeriac together. It's already looking good. And the next ingredient is going to be a green apple. So I've already chopped this. Apple goes so well with the celeriac. The green apple is tart, but it also has a slight sweetness to it, and it goes so well together with the celeriac. It's just like a marriage made in heaven. So they are cooking together. I just want them to be soft and fragrant. I don't necessarily need them to to cook or to certainly not to brown, but just to get those flavours to kind of marry together well. Then for our stock, we're going to add you can add a chicken stock or a vegetable stock, whichever you prefer. I'm actually adding a little chicken stock that I had already made but in the freezer that I have taken out. Then the other ingredient is some organic unsweetened apple juice. So these are all going to cook together, and it probably will take about 25 to 30 minutes because the celeriac takes a little bit longer than some vegetables. And then when that's soft, we're going to take it, we're going to put it in the Vitamix, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do from there. So we're adding some curry powder to the soup, which is just a fabulous flavour. The celeriac itself doesn't have a lot of flavour, but the curry powder is just so good. It makes it such a more complex and interesting soup. We're also going to add some salt to that and a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. When that is finished, we're going to put it in the Vitamix, and this is what it's going to look like. It's a beautiful, vibrant, kind of yellow colour. And then we're going to show you how we're going to serve that. And this is a beautiful soup that you can have for a lunch with a salad and bread, or you can have it for an appetizer for a more elegant dinner celebration. Now, to finish that off, I'm going to suggest a fun way of plating it, which is always my favourite part of cooking. So we're going to use the ingredients that we have already put into the soup, which is our green apple. I'm just going to cut just a couple of slices here, and what I'm going to do is to finally take the julienne off the green apple to make nice little matchsticks. And I'm going to put it in a little bowl, and I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice into it. Sometimes I like to add a little bit of lemon juice to the soup at the end as well. It just gives it a nice brightness. So I'm going to just add the julienne of the apple, and then the final thing is I like to drizzle it with a little bit of quality olive oil or oil of your choice. I'm actually using an Italian black truffle olive oil, which is really fabulous with the celeriac and apple. So I'm just going to do a final little drizzle like that. So here we have one of my favourite winter or early spring soups, which is celeriac and apple curry soup with a julienne of apple and a drizzle of black truffle olive oil. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video.